Hey everyone, Ryan from Taylor Racing, and yes, as you can tell by the thumbnail, the description, the title, man, we got scammed. It really hurt us actually because we're trying to build this bike for Phil the Beast so that we can do a program and race CSBK, and we needed these parts, we needed all the stuff, and yeah, we got scammed. So $2,000 US, that's a lot of money, right? We needed that rear shock, we needed that linkage, we needed that front suspension kit. It was a lot of stuff. And I'm just here to warn you guys and to fill you in that, like, hey, in a world where everyone posts all the great things that they do on the social media, I'm going to give you the loss. You're going to get the wins, the losses, the ups, the downs, the whole 9 yards on Taylor Racing and this build program and this race program. So here's the story. Private Facebook group, Ducati stuff. I put out a post saying, hey, I need a shock and some stuff for this CSBK build. Right, we're trying to help out Phil the Beast. He's 17 years old, racing this Canadian Superbike Series, and we're building a national program. So we're trying to do things a little bit on budget, obviously, right? We've got bikes, we've got builds. So I thought, well, if anyone has a used shock, a TTX Olin's, then we need it, right? So if we save some money, let's do it, let's build it, right? So I put it out there, and a couple of people back and forth, but this one particular gentleman says, hey, I've got a shock with this spring rate. It's got the adjustable linkage, and the front springs for the forks have this spring rate. Very knowledgeable. It has this many hours of just rebuild. I went to this project instead, so I don't need this stuff. Yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, this guy obviously private Facebook group. It's Ducati stuff. He's giving me all the spring rates, the even the weight of oil, like all the stuff that like, okay, this guy obviously knows what he's talking about. I looked at his profile. It was pretty good, like he had some race bikes and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, perfect, let's do this, right? So I sell him the cash for the stuff. I give him my give him my address and all that kind of stuff, and he's like, hey, here's the tracking number. Great, right? No worries. So next thing you know, I get a notification that, hey, the package has been delivered. Go to the front door, there's no package, right? I'm thinking, well, maybe give it an hour. Maybe the USPS guy is just like, oh, trying to make his books look good or whatever, right? Still, next day there's still no package. So I call USPS. I'm on the phone for an hour, on hold. I finally talked to somebody. They said, now you have to go to the post office by your house. So I go to the post office by my house. I wait in line. I give them the tracking number, and they say, no, it was delivered. I said, no, it wasn't delivered. Trust me, it's not delivered. And they asked me what address I gave them. So I gave them the address, and they said, that's not the address that was on there. I said, oh, well, just give me the address, and I'll walk over to, maybe it was a different number in my complex here, and they just accidentally delivered it, and I just go knock on the door and say, hey, sorry, can I have my stuff, please? And they don't give that information. I'm like, well, now the scammers, these people that are scamming you, they obviously, they can figure that out, that they have no recourse. USPS doesn't have the resources or the care to give a shit if you get your stuff or not, right? They won't give the address that it was sent out to. They won't give the address that it was sent from. So now I have no recourse. So I mailed the guy and said, hey man, did you send it to the wrong address? What's the address? And it's radio silence, right? So it's like, crap. And then the next day he messaged me back, said, sorry man, I was busy. Let me get that information to you. And I'm like, okay, so there's that flicker of hope, right? You're like riding that wave of like, oh, maybe I'll get my parts. No, damn. You got that emotion. And he's like, hey man, the package was refused by the receiver. It's gonna be back here. Do you mind sending me some money and I'll ship it to you? Pay half of the shipping costs and then I can ship it to you. And then all of a sudden the big red flags come up, right? And I'm like, how about you ship it to me and I'll send you back half the money, right? And next thing you know, I was blocked and I could no longer get a contact with that guy. So I emailed him and said, hey man, pretty shitty thing you did, right? But they have no recourse. But then again, you think about it, how in this world and day and age, when you have, it's Zelle, so it's email compatible and stuff like that, if the government can get in there and seize your accounts and stop accounts and do this and that, how is there no recourse for these people? You sent them money, you know the address, that email address is attached to a bank account. It should be pretty easy, to investigate and find these people and stop people from scamming people, right? So, but of course, nobody gives a shit, so it doesn't matter. Needless to say, we were out $2,000. We now have no shock, no linkage, no front end for the V2, and we're back to square one, just with less money in the account. So, people, this is my advice. Don't Zelle people, right? Don't do PayPal friends and family, because from what I understand, even with that, you have no insurance. If you're gonna do something, make sure that you pay the 2.9% or whatever through PayPal, and save yourself the hassle. Like if you're spending a couple grand and this 3%, it's $60, right? I'm out 60, I would have been out $60 maybe. Or PayPal would have just said, hey, here's your money back, and they'd either go after the scammer or that scammer, whatever. But because I Zelled them, or just the old electronic bank transfer, I'm out, right? You're out. And no matter what, these scammers are smart nowadays. USPS doesn't care. They're not going to follow up. They're not going to give you information. Friends and family or the Zelle people, they're not going to do anything. So you're kind of screwed. So, the ups and downs, wins and losses of Taylor Racing. Guys, this is a loss. Now we're better. We're learning. And yeah. And thankfully, well, not thankfully, but, I learned. And then I had another scammer 2 days later with a set of wheels. He's like, oh, just send it Zelle. I'm like, no, I'm not sending you Zelle. So just friends and family. I said, I'm not doing friends and family. I need to get covered. So, but it saved me more money, because then that guy obviously was a flake and a scammer too, because he wouldn't do the normal way. So like through PayPal, where I pay the 3% or he pays the 3% or whatever. So obviously they know that they have recourse through PayPal, normal, if they do it. So anyways, guys, wins, losses, this is how we're rolling with Taylor Racing. Not off to a good start for the season for Field the Beast, because now we're less money. Still have to find a shock, a linkage system, and a front end kit for the V2. But oh well, we'll persevere. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, everyone.